So remember, all the trig that we're doing have to do specifically with solving side lengths and right triangles. We cannot solve for any other types of triangles, whether it's obtuse or acute. We need to be making sure that we're looking at right triangles. I put our little acronym that we looked at last time, our SOH-CAH-TOA, up at the top of our page, and that would be my recommendation to you as well as you go through when you're trying to solve these problems. It's just to put SOH-CAH-TOA, spell it correctly, please, at the top of your page. That way you just have that nice, easy reference to refer to as you go through the problems. So if we're looking at the first problem here, we got triangle ABC. We have angle measure B at 37 degrees. It looks like we have BC labeled at 11 units long, and we're looking to find the length of the hypotenuse. So first thing we're going to do as we go through solving each of these problems is that we are going to want to label our sides. So X we already referred to. We said that that was a hypotenuse. So I'll put a little H. And then that 11, we have to know, is that going to be the opposite side or the adjacent side? It's our adjacent side. You're right. So now that we're looking at comparing a ratio of our adjacent side to our hypotenuse, we have to figure out, are we going to use a sine, a cosine, or a tangent ratio? Well, A and H will go along with cosine. So let's set it up. Cosine of our angle is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. From here, this is going to be a lot of calculator work. So let's please make sure first that we have our calculators and that our calculators are in the right mode. You don't want to go through all these problems and be in the wrong mode and therefore get all the wrong answers. If you click on the mode button of your calculator and scroll down, you need to make sure that degree is highlighted, just like my calculator is here. If you have radian highlighted, then you're going to be getting all of the wrong answers. It's a different unit of measurement. So as long as degree is highlighted, I'm going to quit out of here and then go ahead and solve my problem. I need to know what the cosine of 37 degrees is. So I get that that is 0.7986 if I round it to 4 decimal places. I'm going to leave that answer entered into my calculator here so that I can solve. Look at the proportion that we have next that we can then use some cross multiplication in order to solve. So 0.7986x equals 11 times 1, or 11. And then in order to solve for x, we're going to actually just divide both sides by that cosine of 37 number that we had gotten before. So on my calculator, I'm just going to do 11 divided by, and then the same answer that I had gotten before. If you're able to scroll up on your calculator and put that answer in there, please go ahead and do that. That way you get the most accurate answer possible. And here it looks like our answer is just going to be that x is about 13.77. Let's go ahead down and take a look at our second example. Here we'll start out the exact same way. Looks like we're looking at that 32 degrees. So if I'm going to label my sides, my x is going to be my opposite sides, directly opposite from my degree measure. And then that 13 side, that's right next to our angle, that's going to be our adjacent. So if we're looking at our SOH-CAH-TOA again, if we're comparing our O and our A, well, that's going to be a tangent ratio for us. So we'll set it up. Tangent of the degree measure is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Again, let's turn to our calculator. So if we need to figure out the tangent of 32 degrees, we should get that that is 0.6249. Notice when I write down each of these trig ratios, I always round it to 4 decimal places. You should get into the habit of doing the same. And then again, in order to solve, let's cross multiply. We see here, this one's going to be slightly easier to solve. So I'm going to take my answer from my calculator and I'm just going to multiply it by 13. When I do that, I get 8.12. Equals, well, if I cross multiply here, this is just x. And there's my answer. One less step in this problem. We know that our x here, our side BC, has a length of 8.12 units.